What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama SC here, and today we're going to talk about the best places and monsters to find high runes. Now, I think this is actually going to be very surprising for a lot of you. I know a lot of people have the general idea of the best places to find, but when specifically targeting high runes, I think there's actually some interesting results that are going to come to light from this video that some of you may not have known. Additionally, we'll talk about the other pieces and all of that stuff. And why you might farm different areas and why certain things have been suggested, but we'll dive into all of that here shortly. So the first thing that I want to talk about is monsters, right? Essentially, all monsters are going to drop the same sorts of stuff, but there's a few exceptions. The first one is going to be Will-O-Wisp. Any of the ghostly monsters, such as the Will-O-Wisp, Finger Mages, or Wraiths, right? So any of that combination are going to actually be the best mobs for dropping runes in the game. This is because they just drop less stuff overall, so they have a higher chance of dropping from the runes treasure class, which is super nice. So again, this is going to be the lightning Will-O-Wisp mobs that you absolutely hate that are super deadly. So those have a higher drop chance for it. The Finger Mages are going to be like the dudes in the Chaos Sanctuary. And then Wraiths are going to be the ghostlies that are in like the Arcane and all of this stuff, right? So any of those ghostly mobs will be the best drop chance for runes. And it's actually a pretty significant increase compared to other monsters. Additionally, Quill Rats are actually the second best. They actually have an increased chance of dropping them. And again, a decent amount ahead. Not quite as good as Ghost, but it is a slight boost to the amount of runes right there. The third mob type is going to be Cows. Cows actually have a better chance of dropping runes than normal monsters do, which is why Cows has always been a spot that people have recommended to go and farm, because you get all the other nice things and all of that stuff. But if you're looking for specifically runes, kill a lot of cows, get higher chances for it right there. Then you have all the rest of the monsters packed together that have the same drops. And the last one is actually going to be Swarms and Vultures, which you find often in like Act 2, right? You know, the swarms in like the Far Oasis and whatever not. Are they in the Far Oasis? I think so. Dry Hills, blah, blah, blah. They actually have a worse drop chance of runes. And then the vultures are of course, the birds that fly around. So that is all of the monsters from best to worst. And like I said, most of them are just going to be in the worst category or in the like fine category, because it's almost every mob is there. But there are a few that do have slightly better chances, and that does play a factor in some of the farming zones for here. So, with that being said, let's jump into the list. In number 7 is going to be the Chaos Sanctuary. And a lot of people would say, that's my number 1. But remember, we're trying to farm just for high runes right now. And so I want to just point it out and talk about it. The first thing to note is in the Chaos Sanctuary, you are going to have these Finger Mages, which, like I said, are going to be better at dropping. Additionally, you'll have other boss groups that do exist, which can be nice. Right there, you can see there's another boss group. So you have chances there. And there's just a lot of density overall in the Chaos Sanctuary, which once again, when you're looking for runes, a lot of it is density, a lot of mobs to kill, all of that stuff. So that's what we're going to be aiming for, is just lots of monsters to be killed. And it's just going to be super useful and super nice. So with the Chaos Sanctuary, you get lots of mobs, and you get Finger Mages, which are going to be a little bit better drop chance for about a third of the mobs in there, which is nice. So with that combined, it puts Chaos Sanctuary at my number 7 spot, because it does kind of take a little bit of time and can be difficult to clear. Now, it does depend, obviously, if you have like a perfect built character that's really strong in the Chaos, it can still be nice. But even still, I think even with a perfect character going through, there are still a lot of better places when you're going purely for treachery. Now, or purely 4 high runes, excuse me. Now, in my number 6 spot, we're going to go back to Act 1, and this is actually going to be going for the Countess. And there's a few reasons for this. Number 1, the Countess just by herself can drop up to Istrune with her special drop, and actually has the best chances for dropping up to Istrune there, so that can be super nice. If you want to get Istrune or below, just go there, kill the Countess, and it's great. But along the way, you're also going to find ghost monsters. If I can find any in here, I've already killed some of them. So there's one right there. You're going to find ghost mobs along the way. And of course, as I said, these are going to have higher chances of dropping high runes. So you'll want to kill the ghost mobs as you continue down. And it'll increase your chances of maybe getting, you know, a jar or blah, 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 or whatever it is. Now, one thing to note is in levels 1, 2, and 3, you can only drop up to a low rune, I believe, from trash mobs. And from the unique mobs, you can drop the higher runes, get yourself your jobber, all of that stuff. But you can't get as good of the runes just from the trash mobs in level 1, 2, and 3. Once you're in level 4 and 5, all of the mobs in there are going to be able to drop your Burr rune, your Sir rune, your Jaw rune, all of that. So if you're just aiming for those super high runes, killing the ghost only in 4 and 5 is really going to be like the better thing for you to do. But I mean, a lot of people still want low runes and all that stuff. So hey, you know, killing all that can be nice and useful. And again, I'm just kind of going like nice and slow through this. Generally, you're going to be moving even faster through it. You'll come in here, you'll kill the Countess. This isn't like a Countess killing character, but you know, it's a good way to go through, get a lot of really nice stuff, a lot of nice gear, or runes. And you, like I said, you have that guaranteed rune up to that Ist, which is super nice. She can drop up to a low rune from a regular monster drop, and then you have the ghost along the way. So for number 6, we put the Countess. At number 5, I'm going to put the Arcane and the Cows, guaranteed up to an Ist-rune. Now, obviously, she doesn't have to drop that rune or whatever, but, you know, most of the time she's going to. We're going to put the Cows and the Arcane Sanctuary. The Arcane Sanctuary we put in here because, once again, it does have the ghost mobs. So you can run around, and whenever you see these ghost mobs, you can just kill the mobs. Now, an important thing is you want to make sure you kill them when they're on the track. So you don't want to be having them die off of the track, or you're not going to get any of it. Additionally, you have super chests at the end, which you can pop, and can just be a nice little quick look. And so you can just go around, and you'll find probably about 100 ghosts or so while you're running around in the Arcane Sanctuary. And once again, like I said, your main aim is to kill them so they're dying on top of a path. Otherwise, you will not get any of the drops. So this right here is super nice because, again, this is purely going after the fact that ghosts have a better drop rate for high runes. You can literally just farm all around, get all the high runes, and then additionally the summoners here who will drop keys as well, so you can pick up some hate keys while you're at it. Can be nice. And then you have all the super chests all around, which give you the benefit of maybe getting a high rune that way. So love it for there. And then the same idea goes for the Cows, where if you go ahead and have to go find it, but if you make the Cows have a better drop rate than most mobs in the game. Not quite as good as the ghost or anything, but still very nice. And then additionally, like we said before, oh my god, give me the leg. Additionally, like we said before, not only are you getting that added boost, but you're getting density. And density is such a big key. The more that you can kill, the better that it's going to be. And so, obviously, in the Cows, there's just tons of density. There's tons of chests as well, which can have runes pop out of them. It's very solid. And the higher level, skill, gear, everything that you are, the more you can increase the player count. and thus the more drops that you're going to see and the more chance for runes. So this is why people say if you can get like a player's 8 Javazon or something, you know, that can run through and kill cows on P8, it can be super nice, super helpful and beneficial, because it's really, really nice to just get all of the additional runes that are going to drop from that. So cows is definitely a fantastic place. One of my favorite places to find high runes, because, you know, it's just fun to go kill the cows. Secret cow level, everybody loves it. Make sure to bring some keys for all of the locked chest as well. Now, a lot of you are saying that's the 5th place. How are there 4 places below this? Well, I'll show you how. Number 4 is going to be a drive-by chaos. The way that a drive-by chaos works, I'm not actually sure this character can do it, but the way that a drive-by chaos works is after you've gone and killed all of the mobs, and by all the mobs I mean the main seal bosses. So we go here and we just kill the seal boss, and this character is not like crazy strong yet. She's still a work in progress. But we kill these seal bosses right here. Perfect. So once we've done this, we can actually come here, kill this boss, but not pop the last seal. And then before I pop the last seal, I'm just going to teleport around and try and see as many mobs as I can. And then I pop it right there. And now everything that I looked at in those last 6 to 7 seconds is actually going to have drops. And there's an Amrune right there. It's actually going to still be like a spawned mob and going to have drops. So all you do is come in really quickly, kill the seal bosses, save the last seal, and then teleport around really quickly. Just look at all the mobs and then pop the last seal. And like I say, this is going to kill all of those monsters and have drops spawn for all of those monsters, which is going to be absolutely huge and really, really big for the character. Now, the problem is, oh hey, nice. The problem with that is Magic Find doesn't apply to those drops, but what does apply is, or what doesn't matter is, it doesn't matter because runes don't have Magic Find. Magic Find does not apply to rune finding at all. So that's super nice to find an arcane doing that. So all you want to do is go and get as many mobs to die, right? It's all about quick density. And this is one of the really nice, fast, beautiful things about a drive-by chaos is if you're not looking for all of the other items and you're just really targeting runes, going in, popping all of this is very fast, especially if you have a character that, you know, like a lightning source or whatever, a hammered in that can just jump on, kill the bosses really quickly, teleport around super quick, pop the seal, and you're going to get way more insight and way more view of rune drops for way less time. So you can do runs so much faster, and this just becomes a faster chaos run, putting it at our number 4. Now, in our number 3 spot, we are going to have the Travenkol. And I'm going to grab some health pots really fast. And specifically, even more so, the Travenkol with a Hork Barb, or a find item barbarian. Now, the reason for this is there are 11 members in the Travenkol, and each of them have pretty good drop rates for runes. So you can go over there, and obviously this is not a Trav killing character. But you can go over here, and you can kill all of these mobs, and the faster you can kill them, obviously, the better. And they each can drop up to 3 items, which is super nice. And then once you kill them, you are going to get... do that. You'll have the ability, if you're a find item barbarian, where you can then go and pop all of their bodies. And the beautiful thing about that body pop is that it's not like a normal body pop where you're just trying to pop for that one item, but you're getting to pop 3 of them essentially. So the increased chance of finding items is actually going to be way better. And I guess the best way to explain this is the way that find item works is it works by helping to eliminate the no drop chance in its popping. That's still not a great way to say it. Essentially, it's this. Travenkol find item is about a 77% chance to find an item if you have maxed out find item, which is like 52, 53% chance, whatever it is, right? So it's going to actually be better there on like players 1 because the mobs aren't going to have that no drop chance, or they will have that no drop chance. So it's going to be very nice. Yeah, when you use it, it calls for another drop, and find item reduces the no drop factor. So there is a redundancy with higher player counts. For instance, find item at player 7 or 8 is going to be that 51% on a Travenkol mob. But at players 1, it's going to be like a 77% chance to increase chance of finding item. So it's really, really nice in the Travenkol. And that's why the find item barb is super good right there. And that's why a lot of people just go after the runes from the Travenkol because it is extremely strong. It's very hard to say what I'm trying to say with that. So I'm just going to stop trying to explain it because it's confusing and I'm not good at teaching that piece. Yeah. And so a lot of people do the 1,000 Travenkol runs, and I believe it's only like in 400 runs you should expect, or maybe like less than 1,000 runs, you should expect to get a burr worth of value of high runes, right? Something like that. Like, it's very nice. The Travenkol can drop up to a Cham rune, and so a lot of people love to go in there and do that. And that's if you're using the, a barbarian that is doing a find item right there. So it's very good. A very solid space for finding your runes. So that is our number 3. Our number 2 is actually going to be super annoying, but it is going to be glitch rushing for forges. So this, of course, requires you to have people with you that are willing to go through and do this with you and whatever. So it's very annoying. But glitch rushing for forges is actually an extremely profitable way. Now, you do have to factor in, do you trust the people that you're glitch rushing to actually give you their forges and things of that nature? You can also employ this strategy if you hate yourself, which is very true because it is so tedious. But here is the reason why. The Nightmare Forge will drop from Soul Rune up to Rune, and the Hell Forge will drop from Hell Rune up to Goal Rune. So, if you have 7 people that you're rushing through the game, and you should be able to rush, honestly, very, very quickly. I mean, I'm saying even if you're doing this in like 30 minutes or something, it's still extremely profitable. Even if you're doing this in 45 minutes, an hour for a full glitch rush, it is still extremely profitable. And the reason is because if you factor in 7 drops of Nightmare Forge and 7 drops of Hell Forge, which, by the way, are a 1 in 11 chance for each rune, it's an equal chance for any rune, your chances of getting a Vex are basically about like, you're going to get like 2/3 of a Vex value for doing this, for every like full G-Rush through, right? Because you're going to have this person drops a pole, that person drops a goal, this person drops an this person drops a, hell, right? So when you have the 7 there, plus from the Nightmare, you get about 2/3 the value of a Vex rune per G-Rush, which is very nice. And of course, if you get that goal rune, that's already half of a Vex right there. So, that's huge if you can end up getting the goal rune. But you're not assuming you get a goal rune every single time. We're just doing the math of, 7 players getting those runes. So you can just go through, and if you can find people and get quick and go through and do these rushes, you can very easily cube up to Vex, Ohm, blah, 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 all of this stuff super, super quickly. And yeah. And I mean, you could also do classic rushes with this as well, and then get the runes. I mean, it's the same sort of thing, right? It's just doing rushing of 7 people through the game, and then hitting those forges is actually really profitable. So if you're looking to get rich quick and get those runes and then get up to those high runes, honestly, getting to even like a low rune, a Sir rune, you can just power through, get a bunch of golds, get, Is goals, mouths, cube them all up. That's not how I would personally do it. I'd rather take those runes and trade them off and do all that. But you could probably do it in a few hours, cube yourself up to like a low rune or a Sir rune very easily. So, yeah, that is the number 2. It is extremely annoying, but it is possible. And then the number 1 is going to be MrLlamaSC.com is now selling high. I'm just kidding. The number 1 strategy is going to be where we are at LK runs. And this is actually not just in single player, but in multiplayer as well. It is still ridiculously fast. So in single player, it is by far and away, and this is up to burr rune, but even if you're going for like a jaw rune, getting 2 burrs and cubing them here to a jaw is still going to be super fast. Once again, do you want to do that? And not all the time, but if you're doing stuff, whatever, it's very nice. This is another very boring, simple way to go through it, but how to do an LK run, I have videos on that. And I'll probably make a new one for D2R. But the general idea is you're on player 7. Let me make sure I'm on player 7. You pop your super chest, and they have really good drop chances for getting high runes. And so after a few hours of doing this, a lot of times you'll have a great chance. Now, if you're online, you're not going to have the map save because that's just a feature of single player. Online, you'd be creating a new game, getting a new map. Additionally, you're also going to need players in the game, right? So even though it takes like 30 seconds online to do an LK run where you go and you just kind of go back and forth and look for those chests, you need players in the game for it, all of that. So this isn't something that I would say multiplayer doing LK runs is the best thing to do over and over. But whenever you're in a game with a bunch of people, if you're looking for high runes, this is actually still the fastest way to get high runes, is to go and just jump in the LK whenever you can. If there's, a lot of players in the game, 7, 8 players, and just run around really quickly and try and get yourself Sir, Burr, any of those nice high runes, blah, blah, blah. So it's still very good. But like I say, obviously, in single player, this is just the best right here. You just leave the game, go back in, run up again. And, I even do stuff when I'm doing LK runs where I put on a harmony on my offhand so I get the vigor. So I'm a little faster to get to the waypoint, and then I can just go again and pop all these chests and look for the high rune and leave, right? Very nice, quick, simple, but fastest way to get the runes. So this is the 7 best places to find high runes in the game. And now I want to put the qualifier at the end because this is based on speed of finding high runes. So you say, but Mr. Llama, why do people say go for Travenkol, go for Chaos Sanctuary, and go for cows? Why do people say those are the 3 best places to farm them if you just showed us other places that are actually better places to farm them? And this is because generally you're not looking for purely high rune alone and nothing else. And when you factor in the other pieces, these other places actually have a lot of value. LK runs, you're going to find some jewels and gems and amulets and rings and things like that, but you're not getting any like unique sets. You're not getting any of the cool bases, any of that stuff, unless you're popping some racks along the way, and then you might get some bases, which that's actually one of the best places to find bases, but that's whatever. So it's like you're not getting all that stuff. You're not getting any experience, blah, blah, blah. G rushing and just rushing for forges is so tedious. And whatever, right? But again, you're only getting the forges, really. You're not really getting a lot of the other stuff. Whereas when you're doing the cows, when you're doing the Chaos Sanctuary, when you're doing the Travenkol, not only are your chances for high runes going to be good, but your chances of getting other items as well will also be substantially better than a lot of these places. Chaos Sanctuary is one of the best places in the game to farm. There's so many boss groups, so much density, so many nice items because it's an area level 85, so anything can drop at the Chaos Sanctuary. You also get the Diablo kill at the end. You just saw me get Arcane's Valor right there. There's so many nice pieces in the game, nice items that can be found. Travenkol, people love doing Travenkol because, again, not only do you have great chance for high runes, but you also have all these other drops that you're going to see. Just go read people's I did 1,000 Trav runs, here's the items I found list, and there's always Shakos and, Maras and all these things sprinkled in there, which can have a ton of value as well, especially if you're online and looking for that stuff. So this is why this list is great, and especially if you just want high runes and nothing else, this is going to be your fastest, best ways to go and get those high runes. However, like I say, when you're looking for all the other stuff, factoring in the value of all the other things that you can find, this is why Cow, Travenkol, and Chaos Sanctuary pretty much just always win out. They're just always so good because there's just so much extra density, so many other things that you're killing. It just really has a lot of benefit. Now, with that being said, Countess and Arcane, I think, also are a little underrated because they have the keys at the end of them as well. And especially early on, key farming is a very profitable way to kind of build your wealth up in Diablo 2. So I think running for the Countess, for the Arcane, getting all of the runes, doing all of that stuff, and then every time you hit the Summoner, every time you hit the Countess, killing them to try and get some extra keys is a very underrated, profitable way to play the game. And I think a lot of people don't do it. I think more people focus really in those other areas. So I will say that. But yeah. That is just the little piece I wanted to talk about overall. This is our list. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and learned a few things. I'm sure there's some shock from all of this. I'd love to hear down below some of your guys' places that you like farming. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Mwah! Peace, YouTube.